Welcome to Macrobiotic Muse, your guide to health, balance and well-being through the power of nutrition. Today's topic is an important one, cancer, and we'll be exploring it from a macrobiotic perspective. While we won't be focusing on conventional treatments, we'll look at how food choices can influence cancer development and prevention by addressing imbalances within the body. Before we begin, it's important to note that this video is for informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult with a healthcare professional before making any changes to your treatment or diet. If you're ready to explore how the macrobiotic approach can support the body's natural healing processes, stay with us. Let's start by understanding how normal elimination works in the body. This is how we naturally discharge excess through processes like urination, bowel movements, breathing, exhaling carbon dioxide, and sweating. These actions help break down and release chemical compounds such as carbon dioxide and water, keeping the body balanced. But elimination doesn't stop there. Our bodies also release excess through physical, mental, and emotional activities. For example, emotions like anger can indicate the release of excess energy or tension. Women have additional ways to discharge excess through menstruation, childbirth, and lactation, while men and women alike engage in a variety of physical, mental, and social activities to release energy and maintain balance. When our intake of extreme foods is moderate, these processes work efficiently. However, if we consume too much of what our bodies can't process, these natural elimination methods can become overwhelmed, leading to abnormal discharges. When the body can't handle excess through normal elimination processes, it turns to abnormal discharges. These can show up as symptoms like fever, coughing, diarrhea, frequent urination, abnormal sweating, or even involuntary motions like shivering or shaking legs. It's important to recognize that these discharges can also manifest in our mental and emotional states. Abnormal thoughts and heightened emotions such as anxiety or irritability are often signs that the body is struggling to release excess energy. The frequency of these symptoms depends on how much unnecessary excess is taken in. In many cases, however, the body may still not be able to release all the excess, even through these channels. When this happens, the body often resorts to eliminating toxins through the skin, which can lead to skin-related issues or diseases. Let's talk about general skin disorders. The most common causes of these issues are often linked to the consumption of animal foods, like meat, eggs, dairy and fish, as well as sugar, fruit juice, oils and other yin products. When dealing with skin diseases, the goal isn't to suppress the body's attempt to discharge toxins. Instead, we should encourage this process while removing the root cause of the problem. For someone with skin disease, it's essential to adopt the standard macrobiotic diet and avoid certain foods until the condition improves. These foods include all animal products, buckwheat, extremely yin foods such as fruit and sweets, all raw foods, even small amounts like salad, quick pickles aged less than 2 months, flour products. By following this dietary guidance, the body can eliminate excess more effectively and begin to heal from the inside out. In addition to dietary changes, there are several external treatments that can help speed up the elimination of toxins for those dealing with skin diseases. Some effective methods include ginger compresses, rice bran nuka washes, wood ash washes, daikon applications, and sesame oil treatments. It's also important to avoid wool or synthetic fabrics, opting for cotton instead, and using natural vegetable-based soaps rather than chemical ones. Often, skin diseases are a sign that the intestines and kidneys aren't properly eliminating toxins, so supporting these organs with ginger compresses or roasted salt applications can aid recovery. For detailed instructions on how to perform these treatments, be sure to check out the video description. Skin cancer is a more serious form of skin disease, and addressing it through a macrobiotic approach involves eliminating all extreme yin and yang foods. This means avoiding fish, fruit, salad and nuts, though seeds can be eaten occasionally. The standard macrobiotic diet is key, and thorough chewing, at least 100 times, preferably 200 times per mouthful, is essential to improve blood quality and help the body heal. Unlike conventional treatments like radiation, chemotherapy, or surgery, which only address symptoms, the macrobiotic approach focuses on healing the root cause from the inside out. Without addressing the internal imbalance, the disease is likely to return. While many skin diseases are not life-threatening, they signal that the body is overloaded with toxins. If we continue eating excessive amounts of extreme foods, the body will struggle to maintain balance and start to accumulate excess, leading to more serious conditions like cancer. At this stage, when the body can no longer discharge excess effectively, it begins to accumulate in various areas, often in regions that come into contact with the outside world. Let's explore some common sites of accumulation. The sinus's mucus buildup here often results in hay fever or allergies, which are the body's way of trying to expel excess. Pressure points or moxa treatments can be useful in relieving this. The inner ear. Accumulation of mucus or fat in the inner ear can cause pain, hearing loss, and even deafness. Treating this condition may involve techniques like moxa applied to pressure points near the ears. The lungs. Mucus accumulation in the lungs may lead to coughing or chest congestion. Ginger compresses can help loosen stagnation and support healing. The breast's fatty acids and mucus can harden into cysts. This often happens due to regular consumption of cold or yin foods like ice cream or sugary drinks. Proper eating can help melt away these deposits. The intestine's excess accumulation in the intestines may result in a bulging abdomen as mucus and fat coat the intestinal walls. This is a common issue, particularly in people over 30. The kidneys. When the kidneys are overwhelmed, they may accumulate fat and water, leading to swelling and even kidney stones. Ginger compresses and certain vegetables like daikon radish can help dissolve these deposits. The sexual organs. In men, accumulation in the prostate can cause enlargement or cysts, while in women it can lead to ovarian cysts or blocked fallopian tubes affecting fertility. The standard macrobiotic diet and external treatments like ginger compresses can be highly effective in treating these conditions. All of these accumulations can be addressed through proper diet and treatment, but ignoring them or relying solely on symptomatic measures like surgeries or medications will not address the root cause of the imbalance. At the storage stage, the body begins to store excess in and around the internal organs, leading to impaired function. In the circulatory system, this excess often builds up around and inside the heart, as well as within the arteries. These fatty deposits hinder the heart's ability to pump blood effectively and block smooth blood flow through the arteries, potentially leading to a heart attack. While many doctors and nutritionists are aware of the link between saturated fats, cholesterol, and cardiovascular disease, they often overlook the significant impact of sugar and dairy products, which also play a major role in these conditions. Inside our bodies, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats can transform based on what we eat and what our body needs. Normally, excess is eliminated, but when the body can't keep up, the surplus gets stored. Carbohydrates in the liver, proteins in the muscles, and fatty acids throughout the body. Chronic blood lymph degeneration leading to cancer. When the body stores excess, it doesn't do so evenly, especially in the heart. Fatty deposits can accumulate more on one side of the heart than the other, causing irregular heart rhythms. As this imbalance worsens, breathing becomes more difficult because the lungs, often filled with mucus, struggle to absorb oxygen and expel carbon dioxide. This combination of fatty deposits in the heart and mucus in the lungs can severely impair the body's ability to function. Interestingly, the condition of the heart is often reflected on the face. For example, the tip of the nose mirrors the state of the circulatory system, with the left and right sides of the nose corresponding to the left and right sides of the heart. If the left side of the nose feels harder, it's a sign of greater fatty deposits in the left side of the heart. This imbalance can lead to heart murmurs. Facial color also tells a story. A reddish or swollen face signals that the heart is also swollen. A pale complexion suggests poor circulation, while an oily or greasy face indicates that the heart is coated in fatty deposits. Even the location of pimples can reflect where fatty deposits are most concentrated in the heart. For instance, pimples on the lower left side of the face could mean high fatty deposits in the lower left side of the heart. Chronic blood and lymph degeneration can be a key factor leading to cancer. When the bloodstream becomes clogged with fat and mucus, it begins to affect major organs like the lungs and kidneys, reducing their ability to filter and cleanse the blood effectively. As this continues, the quality of the blood deteriorates, impacting not just the bloodstream but also the lymphatic system. Surgeries like tonsillectomies can further weaken the lymphatic system, making it more difficult for the body to cleanse itself, which often results in frequent swelling and inflammation of the lymph glands. Over time, this chronic deterioration affects the red blood cells, which lose their ability to transform into healthy body cells, leading to the creation of degenerate cancerous cells. The health of the intestines plays a crucial role here as well. When the small intestine is coated with fat and mucus, or its environment becomes too acidic, it can't produce healthy blood. Since blood cells and plasma largely originate in the small intestine, this poor functioning contributes significantly to blood degeneration and increases the risk of cancer. Cancer often develops as a result of chronic degeneration in the blood and lymphatic fluid. Once we understand that cancer is the result of widespread deterioration throughout the body, we can better appreciate the body's natural attempt to concentrate cancerous cells in specific areas, preventing the entire system from being overwhelmed. Nutrition and the cause of cancer. Cancer can generally be classified into two types based on its cause. The first type is linked to an overconsumption of yang foods, like meat, eggs, fish, and certain dairy products. The second type is connected to excessive intake of yin foods, such as sugar, soft drinks, milk, refined grains, and stimulants. Typically, cancers that develop in deeper, more compact yang organs, like the lungs, heart, or liver, are often caused by too much yang food. On the other hand, yin-caused cancers tend to appear in more hollow yin organs such as the intestines, bladder and stomach, or on the body's outer regions. It's important to understand that both yin and yang factors play a role in cancer development. Even cancers primarily caused by yang foods require some level of yin for tumor growth. A real-world example is found with Eskimos, who had minimal cancer rates until they introduced modern yin foods like sugar into their otherwise yang diet, leading to the formation of cancers. Additionally, within each organ, certain areas are more yin or more yang. For example, in the stomach, the expanded, more acidic region is considered yin, while the pylorus and duodenum are more compact and yang. Stomach cancers linked to yin foods like sugar and refined grains often appear in the more expanded areas. Meanwhile, cancers in the yang regions, such as the pylorus, are usually associated with yang foods like meat and eggs. This pattern helps explain why Japan, where yin foods are widely consumed, has a higher rate of stomach cancer, while other types of cancer, more connected to saturated fat consumption, are more prevalent in countries like the United States. When it comes to cancer in the digestive system, different parts of the colon have varying yin and yang characteristics. For example, the ascending colon is more yin, while the rectum has more yang traits. If cancer develops in the yin areas like the ascending colon, it's typically due to overconsumption of yin foods such as sugar, fruit juice, honey, and refined grains. On the other hand, cancer in the rectum is more likely caused by yang foods like meat, eggs, and certain cheeses, though yin foods also play a role. Cancers in the transverse or descending colon result from a combination of too much yin and yang in the diet. Moving beyond the colon, cancers of the liver, spleen, and pancreas are often linked to excessive yang foods. Similarly, brain tumors, which develop in the dense tissue of the brain, tend to be caused by yang foods. These types of tumors typically grow slowly, and because the brain receives a rich blood supply, improving blood quality through diet can have a positive impact on brain health. Cancers in other areas, like the small intestine, tend to be more yin, though they can be influenced by yang foods as well. Uterine and breast cancers often arise from a combination of extremes, with saturated fats from yang foods like meat and eggs interacting with yin foods like sugar to trigger these conditions. Prostate cancer, while also driven by yin foods, has a more yang nature similar to cancer of the descending colon. Skin cancer, another yin cancer, results from a mix of yin foods like sugar and dairy, along with yang animal products. Precancerous conditions like psoriasis, eczema, and white or brown patches on the skin can often indicate the early stages of these imbalances. A dietary approach to cancer. When I think about cancer from a macrobiotic perspective, I always try to start by understanding whether the person's overall condition is more yin or yang. This is crucial because cancer often develops from an imbalance in one direction or the other. The goal is to restore balance and bring the body back to a neutral state where it stops accumulating toxins that lead to cancer. If we keep this big picture holistic view in mind, it helps us avoid getting lost in a maze of symptoms. What I found is that dietary recommendations really need to be adjusted based on whether the cancer is more yin or yang in nature. You can usually figure this out by looking at where the cancer is located, how the person is feeling overall, and their eating habits. For yang cancers, I'd recommend the standard macrobiotic diet but with more yin foods to bring balance. The opposite applies for yin cancers. Add more yang elements to the diet. But of course, it's really important to avoid extremes of either yin or yang because that's often what caused the imbalance in the first place. When I'm not sure which direction the imbalance leans, I think it's safest to stick to a balanced central macrobiotic diet. One important thing to remember is that cancer is a symptom of excess, so it's really important not to overeat. There are two practices I've found super helpful for this. First, chew each mouthful thoroughly at least 100 times, but if you can go up to 200, even better. I know it sounds like a lot, but this helps the food mix well with saliva and aids digestion. Second, try not to eat for at least 3 hours before bed. Late-night meals can become surplus and may contribute to cancer growth. As for drinking, it's best to only drink when you're actually thirsty. And if possible, maintaining a normal level of physical activity is key. Moving your body can really support the healing process. One of the hardest realizations for someone facing cancer is accepting that their lifestyle, diet, and mindset may have contributed to the disease. But once that decision to change has been made, it's important to let go of focusing on the sickness and instead start living as happily, actively, and normally as possible. I know that many cancer patients can feel depressed. So once someone begins eating a healthier diet, I believe it's key to encourage them to maintain a positive outlook and not dwell on their illness. Things can get more complicated if someone has undergone chemotherapy, radiation, or surgery. However, I still believe recovery is possible, especially if the person has a healthy appetite, good energy levels, and the will to live. It's really important that both the person and their family understand the significance of following the right dietary recommendations. Ideally, they should take the time to learn how to cook properly and seek out advice from someone who can guide them on this journey. It's also helpful for the patient to reflect on the aspects of their life that may have contributed to the development of cancer. For more serious or terminal cases, where the cancer is spreading quickly, or the person is in pain with a diminishing appetite, extra care is needed. Along with eating the right foods, external treatments can provide relief. Food should be cooked to the right texture and consistency, making it easy to chew and swallow. If the person has trouble eating, it can be helpful to mash the food after it's cooked or add extra water to make it softer. Grains, vegetables and beans can be cooked this way and then mashed by hand using a suribachi. I wouldn't recommend using a blender for this as it changes the texture too much. There are also a few external applications that I've found really useful in these cases, such as ginger compresses, taro potato plaster and buckwheat plaster. Let's talk about the methods used in treatment. When using a ginger compress for cancer, it's important to apply it only for a short period of time. The goal is to activate circulation in the affected area, but we don't want to overdo it. especially for yin cancers, as extended use could actually accelerate growth. The ginger compress is meant to be a quick preparation for a taro potato plaster and not an independent treatment. I usually recommend applying the ginger compress for just a few minutes. Once the ginger compress has been used, we can follow up with the taro potato plaster. Taro potato can be found at Chinese or Armenian grocery stores or natural food stores. The smaller taro potatoes are ideal for this. To prepare it, peel the skin, grate the white part of the potato, and mix it with about 5% grated ginger root. Spread the mixture onto a piece of linen about half an inch thick and apply it directly to the cancerous area, ensuring the mixture makes direct contact with the skin. After applying the ginger compress, the cool taro potato plaster should be placed immediately on the affected area. You can secure it with a bandage, and it should stay in place for about 4 hours as its effectiveness decreases after that time. Once 4 hours have passed, replace it with a fresh plaster. If the patient feels cold due to the coolness of the taro plaster, you can reapply the ginger compress for 5 minutes during the plaster change to warm them up. If the chill continues, try roasting some sea salt, wrapping it in a towel, and placing it on top of the plaster. Just be cautious not to overheat the patient. The taro potato plaster works by drawing out cancerous toxins and carbon from the body. If you notice that the plaster or the skin underneath has turned dark or brown, this indicates that carbon and other toxins are being released. Over time, this treatment can gradually reduce the size of the tumor. If taro potato is hard to find in your area, you can substitute it with regular potato mixed with 40 to 50% grated green leafy vegetables. This combination may not be as potent as taro, but it will still have beneficial effects. For cases where fluid retention causes abdominal swelling, a buckwheat plaster can be very helpful. If the fluid is surgically removed, the patient may feel temporary relief, but the situation could worsen a few days later. To avoid this, mix buckwheat flour with warm water to create a dough-like consistency. Apply this to the abdomen or other swollen areas at a thickness of about 1 inch and secure it with a bandage. This plaster should be replaced every 4 hours, and in many cases the swelling will start to decrease after a few applications. Buckwheat plaster is also effective for reducing swelling after surgeries, such as mastectomies or in cases of swollen lymph nodes. While most cancers can be managed without external treatments, for the 20 to 30% of terminal or complicated cases, these applications can offer relief. They can also be used for non-cancerous conditions like brain tumors, fibroid tumors, ovarian cysts, or breast cysts. Several factors influence the success of these treatments, including the person's natural constitution, any previous surgeries or treatments that may have weakened their immune system, and their ability to reflect on and appreciate the body's natural defense mechanisms. Support from the patient's immediate family is absolutely crucial for a successful outcome. Without their close cooperation, it becomes much harder for the patient to recover. The family needs to fully understand the situation and make an effort to adopt similar dietary habits. Beyond just changing their diet, the family should offer their love and support in every possible way. This collective effort creates a positive environment that helps the patient stay optimistic and committed to their healing journey. Thank you so much for joining me in this deep dive into the nutritional approach to cancer. As we've explored, diet, mindset, and external treatments can play powerful roles in restoring balance and supporting the body's natural healing processes. Whether you or a loved one is on this journey, remember that healing requires not just changes in what we eat, but in how we think and how we live. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to subscribe to Macrobiotic Muse for more insights on health, nutrition, and balanced living. Together, we can continue to explore how natural approaches can bring wellness and vitality to our lives. Until next time, stay nourished, stay balanced, and stay hopeful.